last question. Is it on, Safed? Can we continue? Okay. Okay. Good afternoon, councillors, administration, and dear community members. We will just pick up where we left last on the last topic that we had. At point 9 was under the from Councillor Mara regarding the prepaid meter issue. Then the prepaid meter was brought in for us and the requirements. Did you, Councillor Mara, just explain again your request, and so that the team, so that the administration can just say it's what you requested on.
Sorry, thank you, Mayor. The two standpipes in Volstruisvlakte that are out of order, block 9 and 10, Burgershoek, that needs new standpipes closer to the community based on the very old people who cannot go far for water. And there's also a backyard garden of which the owner are suffering. And then the Volstruisvlak broken pipes that are not fixed on time. And then in the same vein also the Barnhof issue, whether there is standpipes but they are not functionable. Yeah, and then the CEO mentioned something about the tokens that are tempered with, and then free water is running apparently for very long years. Thank you.
Okay. Based on the question that you asked for them to bring the prepaid water meter for the the you call it the specifications, they brought the meter.
Oh, Mayor, just a correction. That was a question on its own. The prepaid meter was a question previously asked.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's two separate
No, I know.
questions.
I just want us just to handle, because we paused, when we took the break, we took the break at the prepaid. So I just want to handle down the prepaid, and then we can handle the rest of the questions. Otherwise, it will look that we are not coming back to where we stopped at the meeting. So for the specifications of the prepaid meter and and the meter itself and everything, according to the bid documents and what the criteria must be for the meter and the specifications must be of the meter, I will give over then to Mr. Rudolph through the CEO. Thank you.
Don't understand. What do you want me to do?
All I want is for you to give the specifications of the meter regarding what the specifications was that we received from NEM Water, because they were, our money was with them, and they said a certain specification must be the requirement, because we asked them to assist us with the specification of meters for proper water meters, prepaid water meters. So that specification to with that meter, is it compliance on what the MURT and and NEM Water required that meters to have? Councillor Mara, you can come in with your question.
Thank you, Your Worship. Mr. Rudolph, the specifications which we got from the government, né, versus the specifications that we got in our presentation from the service provider, are they the same? Then, in your bidding documents, what was offered? Let me make a example. This is a Samsung phone. Councillor Cheki's phone is an iPhone. The functions here is I can receive a SMS, I can send a WhatsApp. He can do the same with the iPhone. My phone is $900 and his phone is $4,000. So now the ministry said it should be an iPhone. But what me and you are having, and where we need to get the mistrust out, is why do we have Samsungs at the moment?
think it's very clear now.
I will just read what the ministry gave us as the criteria for the water meter. Residential above ground prepaid meter, a domestic water dispenser to control the dispensing of prepaid quantities of water to individual or private households. The meter box must consist of a plastic bodied above ground meter box, allowing the LCD display to be positioned above ground. Meter box to contain a Class C plastic, complete with a pulse output approved by SA. Trade metrology of SANS, prepaid meter to be complete with push fit type inlet and outlet fittings. Meter box to be fitted with both consumer and municipal sealable ball valve. All components must be easy accessible and interchangeable on site by maintenance personnel. The approval complete meter to comply with SABS 1529/9. Electronics, prepaid electronic module must be water resistant to IB67 with in situ replaceable battery pack. Security, they must have a temper switch to ensure no water is drawn. LCD display in a credit token. That was the specifications from the ministry. This is our specification list in the bid document, which has this in, as well as extra specifications that we got from NemWater, and that is also compatible with the metering system. So it must be STS6 compliant, bar-coded serial number, daily, monthly, free basic, lifeline credit, emergency water. It must have a water conservation limit, 10-year battery life, field replaceable battery pack, temper detection, utility and consumer lock, leak detection, motorized electronic ball valve, plastic shell. It must be corrosion resistant, UV stabilized, and fiberglass. That's the plastic that was with it. Optimum accuracy and performance in any position, whether horizontal or vertical. Grooved rotary piston, clear, easily read, and liquid sealed 8-digit counter. Measuring accuracy class C. Internal non-return valve and sustainer. Each meter must have a unique serial number. It must be pulse prepared, and inlets and outlet threads compatible to ISO metric sizes. Like I said, the complete prepaid meter must comply to the SABS 1529/9. So that's basically it. It's everything that the ministry says and some extras. This is the meter in question that we received. This is the remote control that you use for the water to purchase it or to put it in, and then it meets all the specifications that we have. And it is one of the meters that was in the presentation that was done before we allocated or awarded.
Salamara?
So the BEC committee, they had questions when you had that meeting, ne? Can we know in your minutes what transpired there? Why is there a question mark on that meter? You know the questions that was raised. Those are the questions that you need to raise, and I'm apparently not entitled to know these things. But why not? The question marks we need to raise out. Bring that BEC committee here also.
Mayor,
Mr. Rudolph?
yes, I think, okay, this is my view, just my view. I think when procurement committee sits, we are sitting there as maybe up to 5-6 people who have different expertise, have different way of thinking, have different knowledge. but we try to get consensus when we make decisions, because everyone explains what you think about this. At the end of the day, a decision that we take as whether in a BEC or at the PC, we've sent that recommendations to the CEO for the CEO to apply his mind and make a decision, right? Now, if we are going to go back and say, let's say in the PC, 4 people agreed, 1 person says no. Then we are going now to reduce these meetings to discuss about the discussion that happened in the PC. Who said no and why did they say no? I think it's unfair on us. I think when we make a recommendation to the CEO, if the CEO has an issue, he normally sends back to the BC or PC for reconsideration. There are processes that are provided for that. Now, I expect that our councillors, if there are issues that were raised, maybe somebody went to tell them something. It's important that we do this thing internally. It's not necessary for us to come here and sit in front of cameras and deal with these matters. That's my view. I'm sorry, Mayor. It's my view. These are two things of these are technical issues. If we are going to buy a meter that's not going to do or meet the requirement that we have, then you can hold now us, because we have bought a meter that doesn't meet the requirement. We have not stalled this meter. We have not seen that the meter does not meet the requirement. For people who don't understand, they have not seen that. Why should we discuss the matter of requirement when we can hear from us to say we had made sure the requirement, this thing have met the requirement? Why should we discuss it? So maybe I think, may I just think about that, but that's my view. I'm sorry, yeah.
I totally understand, Mr. Rudolph. Councillor Mara?
Thank you. Mr. Rudolph, I respect your opinion, your view, but I would like to know from the CEO, when you receive all these, were you 100% sure that you don't have to interfere or send it back? Then I also wish to find out from the MC chair and the 2 members of MC, are you 100% sure about what was presented, what the government said we should get, what the service provider presented and what we received? Are you, from the management committee, are you 100% sure about that water meter? Councillor
CEO,
Mara.
sorry, Councillor Joey. CEO.
Your Worship, yes, I'm 100% sure. That is why if there were some queries or issues that we needed to discuss, I normally call in the PC. And it's only up to the level of the PC because the BEC report is also attached. But just to add to one more point where the councillor was asking the BEC to come and explain. In terms of the Public Procurement Act, the BEC is every time when they sit, they have to sign a confidentiality clause. There's a confidentiality clause in the form that they have to sign. So whatever you tell them and come let them to do, they will not come and do it. And one thing is that the members, staff members from NAMWater is also part of that BEC. So it's a question of who is now having a problem with the processes. Is there a problem with the processes, or is there a problem with the specifications of the meter? If there was a problem with the specification of the meter, and that is where the BEC and the procurement made the decision, then the service provider, in terms of a Public Procurement Act, are the one who has to object. And once they object and the objection has been received or review has been done, then the matter is closed if there is no other issue that needs to be conferred upon. The management, not even the management committee is obliged to come into the issue, because the management committee doesn't have anything to say when it comes to the process that has already been completed. It's only when it comes to the procurement plan and those things where the management committee has to approve for the plan and the expenses on the budget that has to go through. But in that matter where the review and even no objections has been received or whatever, then the process is closed off completely. But it doesn't stop any other person who has a problem with it to go on the portal of the policy unit to go and see what was the outcome, what happened in the bid and so forth, and what was the specifications that was done. And if there's anything else that purported to the fact that the specifications on on the bid was not correct in terms of the ministry, that person must also then, through the review and through the policy unit, made the what is it, the complaint, so that then the public entity must receive it, which is Rebo Town Council, and look into it. But unfortunately, in that instance, when it comes to from the BEC to the procurement and the accounting officer, and the process has been concluded in terms of all the processes done, then we can't say anything more apart from making sure that the product is here and it is compatible and it's working. If it's not working, that is only where the public entity will have to go back and make sure that something has, the service provider has breached the contract or whatever it is. So unfortunately, it is not the case as we have dealt with the issues as already explained within the requirement of the bid. Thank you, Worship.
Thank you. Councillor Mara? You raised your hand.
From management
Oh.
side, we were told in no uncertain terms that we cannot interfere in the process of procurement. And that the Procurement Act is superior to the Local Authorities Act. That was said. Yes,
Not superior, it's a wrong terminology.
this is a wrong terminology.
Yeah, it's a wrong terminology. It's just that we are not part of the process for the influencing or
Oh.
interfering of the procurement processes. But what normally transpires is when the procurement, once the procurement always sends out the tender and it comes in, there is a company on a complaint, the review board handles the matter. Then the review board will send the mail directly to the CEO, and then the CEO will tell it to the council, and then the council must make a proper decisions regarding what the review board have announced, and therefore accordingly with that, together with our line ministry, we have to make a decision. But we haven't received anything of those sorts. But what I want to ask Councillor Mara is, because she was the one, because she's asking questions and I don't get where to is it going, can Councillor Mara be more specific based on her evidence and based on her the way that she wants to what is Councillor Mara actually saying regarding the prepaid meters, and that's where is where is it going, and what was the wrongdoing of procurement perhaps?
I didn't say that there was any wrongdoing. I
Okay.
said, we received those meters. Are
Mhm.
they meeting the specifications of
Mhm.
government? Are they meeting the specifications what we provided to the service provider? Yes or no? Then after that I ask, what are we offered by the service provider?
Mhm.
And I go on to ask the CEO, is he satisfied
Yeah.
with the decision that was
But
made?
it seems to me that Councillor Mara received
That is, it seems to you.
no.
It
What you
seems
said,
to
you
you.
said
It's,
you queried
are
the
the BECs in
so-
place? Are the procurement unit in place? Is everything in place? That's why I ask not the mayor, but
Yes.
the CEO. Mr. CEO, are you satisfied with what your team did? I don't think I was kind of, there was a gap of discommunication coming from my mouth. And then I needed to make sure whether the MC, the management committee, if they are also fine with the product which the service provider. There's only just one more question that I need to ask, but if they are satisfied just the way the CEO is satisfied with the end product, if they are also satisfied, then I'm fine. But I want to ask more from the technical manager. Mr. Rudolph, is it so that on these meters that we had various bidders? Or was it only one provider? Or is it like 3 providers? And do the specifications differs from each provider?
Mr.
Is it
Rudolph?
only one?
No, Mr. Rudolph, will you be able to answer the question?
Okay, we have already 2 meters, two types of meters that are in operation in Rehoboth. There are already two types. When the specification came, we noticed that we cannot rely only on those meters, so we have to open it up. So when we receive different type of meters. Our plan is to limit it to 3 meters because of maintenance and parts. Was to limit it to 3 meters actually. But the tricky part is, in the tender document, we did not limit it to specific meters. We said meters should meet a certain specification, not to a brand. Now, that's the argument of contractors. They said, look, you can only fault us if it doesn't meet the specification, but not the brand. And we understood that because they could have taken us also to anywhere to challenge that, to say, look, you did not say it should be Motorola. You said it should be able to receive calls. Does it receive call? And we are guaranteeing you that we are giving you 5-year guarantee. It's on us. So it was a bit, that's how busy, these things was deliberated in depth, I can tell you now. We even brought in item engineering. Who's going to host this meter on their system? Say, please give us a paper. Write a paper that we want to incorporate in the contract, so that all these meters, when they are supplied, they actually comply to that, what you are saying, because you are the ones providing the system. They send us a paper of all the key things that these meters, and on top of the specifications here, what it should also have for it to be compatible on the system. We brought them on board before the contracts were drafted. This type of meter, the same meter, we are buying the same meter, 2,000 of them from Nedvent. Nedvent is supplying the same type of meter, 2,000 of these meters. So by having another contractor again supplying this one, so we're actually having more of this type. We're actually having more of this type than any other type. So I do not know why was this one supplied by a specific supplier is being pinpointed specifically to say if there's a possibility it did not meet the requirement. That's why I'm saying maybe there's something I don't know, which we cannot really be able to, maybe if we were called to say, bring all the papers and discuss it with the committee, maybe we would have then given more information. But to bring us in front of cameras, like how it's happened here, to justify our specifications, whether we've done, this meter meets specific, I just think it's a bit unfair. That's what I was trying to say. So, in short, there are different type of meters that was supplied. We have zeroed in now to 3 types that's going to be supplied. And one of the 3 types is this one. And all those 3 types meets the specifications. And all those 3 types, they will be compatible on the system that we are using to be able to control credit, to be able to load tax rate and taxes. All those meters will be compatible. So I thought we are trying to find a solution, and we find a solution. So if there's something that we don't know, then we need to be specific and say, but we understand A, B, and C, it cannot do. Then let's be specific, but to be honest, I think it's just unfair, yeah.
Councillor Jowin and Councillor Councillor Mara.
Thank you, Your Worship. No, Mr. Rudolph, we were present at the, when those suppliers presented here, the presentations. And I was also curious back then, because I saw, back then when they presented, no, just with Councillor Mara, I was curious to see who will get it. I thought you will communicate that to us, not here, but I thought you will communicate that to us at least, because we attended the presentations. May I ask, is there only a sole supplier? Oh, thank you.
Councillor Mara.
Mr. Rudolph, it is unfair to bring it to the cameras or to the live stream. I don't know how you can actually say that. You know that there's an end user, which is me and you. and the rest of the community, isn't it? Or is this meters for something specific? We are going to use this as a community, and me, the councillor, must make sure that it's the best of best based on the specifications that is going out to the community. And that community is me and you. So now I don't know why is it unfair. You know, I'm still having a question for you, but you are not giving me room to ask these questions. I don't know why are you uncomfortable with me asking these type of questions. You said we are having 2 meters currently, and now we are going to move from the 2 meters to a possible 3 meters. Is there a difference in price of those 3 meters, and how is it going to influence myself and you? Will I be having a choice out of 3 meters based on range of price, or because it's one specification? So these are the things that I need to understand. You know the difference between me and you. You are a technical person. So why don't you respect me as a non-technical person to understand this so that the community could also understand it?
Thank you, Councillor Mara. Mr. Rudolph?
No, you see, Councillor, sorry, I don't want this thing to be like I'm debating now
Dialogue,
with the Councillor. But my view is that we are a team. That's my view. If we are to communicate issues to the public, we come here and we communicate to the public, but not to come and try to make it like some people have done something wrong. Because we should have discussed this thing. If there's an issue, I'm saying, I have not received this complaint from councillor, any councillor or from the CEO. We would have said, clarified it so that when we come and communicate to the end users, we are communicating one thing. It's not camps here like councillors on the other side, administrators on the other side. We are doing things to respond to the resolutions of councillors. So if there are issues on what we are doing, we should iron it out before we come and communicate it to the communities. But the way it looks here is that to try and present like some people are doing wrong things, which I say it's a bit unfair, because we are a team here. We're supposed to iron out these issues before coming here, not to come here and present other people are doing something wrong. So I'm trying to explain that there's nothing wrong that was done to get to the meters that we have. All the specifications, man is not sitting with us. If we get meters that doesn't meet specification, NamWater might decide not to pay for it. Who will take that responsibility? Why should we take that chances to temper the specification when we know money is not sitting with us? So we made sure that the specifications as was given by the ministry and by NamWater's input. That's why even in the evaluation, BEC, NamWater was involved. So I believe that there was information that was given which might have shown this type of mistrust, to say something wrong was done. That's why these questions are coming. So I'm saying it's unfair to do this thing in front of our public. That's all I'm saying. So we should have sorted it out on the side and come and communicate clearly here. So nothing wrong that we've done. I'm just making it clear. The meters meet the specifications. If these meters are not going to work, they have 5-year guarantees. Each supplier is having a code. Each supplier will be given at locations where they are installing. Each supplier is going to be held accountable to make sure that those 5-year guarantee that they have given is actually implemented. If there's something wrong, we are also retaining certain amount on every payment to make sure that we cover for this type of thing. So I believe proper work was done, and if there are any discrepancies, let us discuss it, not in front of cameras. We can resolve these things if there's any issues.
Thank you, Mr. Rudolph. Just to be very clear, on the prepaid water meters and electricity, Me, myself, Councillor Venus, Claassen, and Councillor Jackie were the ones who normally engaged NemWater regarding all the specifications and went to the CEOs of NemWater. And it was very clear with Mr. Trondheim and the administration team, we normally engaged. And there we understood what was the specifics, the specifications, what was the requirements, and that procurement with that communicated in such as well. So as at the levels until the process was done and the installations and everything, there was no problems. There was nothing communicated to me, Councillor Jackie, or that time even to Councillor Venus regarding any thing wrong. And that's why I didn't communicate to any councillor, because I haven't received anything from the review board showing there was any discrepancies or things that was not done properly. If so, it would have been communicated to the council, to me, and to the council, and then they would have said there's a way forward. I can even remember we spoke to what is the CEO's name of NemWater, whereby we asked him to bring the representative to be part of this process, for him to sit in the process and verify together with the procurement team, to verify that everything is according to the NemWater and the ministries, our line ministry, who are supposed to say this is the criteria they wanted. So we haven't received anything. So therefore, Councillor Mara, that's why I ask, is there somewhere specific that you got information perhaps we don't have regarding it? But it seems to me you were asking the questions to get clarity. No problem with that. Mr. Rudolph answered the questions. Is there another question based on it? Or can we continue now with the question? With the rest of your questions, are you clear with the prepaid meter?
I am very much clear. Is that just that you went now to a review board? No. Review board is there. We are done there. It's the end result. That one.
But it will be picked up if there's any specification that is not correct.
I do have trust in the whole explanation from the technical manager that is not trusting me.
Because it's the way that you
to ask
ask.
all these questions, because I'm not a technical person. But the more the trust is between the accounting officer and the technical manager, our legal advisor is there. So the three of them guaranteed me, which was not in the discussions between you, the chair of this meeting, the ordinary councillor, and Mr. Councillor Venus, you know, because the three of you never consulted me or in consultation of other councillors, because this is the first time I'm even hearing that the three of you went and you never provided us with feedback.
Councillor,
But no, you are not going to interrupt me. You will wait
I'm
until
not
I'm done.
interrupting.
So our accounting officer, our legal officer is there, and our technical expert is there, meaning that meter is the meter that we needed to get from the government on this millions, from the service provider up to the person that is going to use it. So let's close the book. We are in capable and good hands with the three of them.
Thank you, Councillor Mara, but I will disagree with you in consultation with. Every time there was a meeting that was sent via the former PA, via the current PA, on all meetings of NemWater, NemPower, engagements. Unfortunately, this is years. How can you, Councillor Raman, you were part of the mayor that time. You were the mayor that time. You were even a chairperson at that time. You couldn't attend the meetings because some of Councillor Mara couldn't attend the meeting because it was not on a Monday. Sometimes it was during the working hours. You were attending the meetings, but now you are shaking your heads that there was no communication from the officers of the administration.
Didn't receive any feedback what was
No.
happening there.
That's okay,
It
Councillor
is
Mara.
what I said.
Councillor Mara, let's go.
Okay.
Councillor Jackie.
His Worship, this meetings at NemWater was a crisis meeting. You remember it was the time, I think, Mr. Kaneme was still the CEO, and we did not have portfolios that time. And it is in those times that we went to negotiate with the of NAMWODA. And one of the cases that we also brought forward was that of the case that we are disputing the fact that NAMWODA is not owing us money, yet they are asking for the money that we owe them. Those were the meetings that we attended, and it all started there, where the council was advised that we should seek assistance from the ministry, be it our line ministry or the finance ministry, to get water meters, and most of our residents on prepaid water meters. So those were the meetings, and already then we were already advised and provided with the specifications that would really benefit the council and not ask us to, or not have us to buy water meters every 2 years and on repairing, and spend a lot on repairing. So that those were the meetings that the mayor is referring to. And then we got portfolios, of which the mayor was the overseer. So he went to the meeting with the available council. I did not join him in the latest meetings, but those were that were was just ask a question to the technical manager.
You may, if Councillor Mara was still on the floor with the rest of the questions.
It's based on these water meters.
Okay.
I would like to know from the technical manager through the CEO. We have this is a general strategy of the council in order to increase our revenue and also eliminate debt from our residents. So I would like to know which ones are the targeted areas which we, besides the alienation, because alienation we need to fit them immediately as soon as it is given of those water meters. But besides that, which ones are the target areas? And I've seen, I think it's more a question of for the finance manager, where we should look at areas where we don't get that much of revenue, and with the water meters, it is a very good thing, because you now don't owe the town council anything, because you have to pay a certain amount of a tariff before you buy water. So which are the target areas, in short, my question?
Councillor Jackie, that's a good question. The town needs to know that the whole of Rehoboth is going on prepaid. There's no target area. We will start, if you want to start the revolving fund, and just to clarify, nobody will be paying for these meters. You will be renting it. The tariff is very clear that pensioners will be paying $35 per month for the rental of this prepaid meter, including the insurance. Non-pensioners will pay $70 per month, including the insurance. $70. It's in our tariffs, Councillor Amanda. Your approved tariffs. Yeah. So we will start with our, obviously when you're starting with a revolving fund, né, you will start with your high earning areas. So you will start in those. No, you are not high earning, you're a pensioner. Yes. I'm just joking, councillors. Everybody is so serious. Okay, so we will start, and the remaining 3,000, we will then fund from the rental that is coming in from the community, because we need to take our valuation round and look at the areas where obviously we can earn the most. So your rates and taxes, your basic charges and everything will have to be paid upfront, and then we will, from the funds that we receive in terms of rental, Councillor Mara, we will then fund the rest of the 3,000 from the council side. But should a meter break down, unless it is malicious damage, bypassing of the meter, and things like that, which is not allowed, is against the law, then we will penalize the user of the meter. Obviously, there's a tariff for it, 12,500 for bypassing a meter, plus your average usage. We will take historical data from what you've been using and estimate how much you owe the council. And yes, we will recover it. we will, because we have a legal office, and we won't need Red Force to do it. We will use our own means. So the whole of Rehoboth should be prepaid by 1st of July 2026. Some of the meters have already been delivered. 250, I believe, have been delivered. We are waiting. By the end of November, we should receive the bulk of the meters. So the project will continue throughout December, and hopefully by mid-January or end of January, we should have installed all the meters from this ONB. Or by the latest, if there should be any holdups, it should be by end of February. Everybody will, the 6,850 will be in the ground, functional, and then we will start funding the rest of the town.
Thank you, Mr. Tron. Councillor Joey.
Mr. Seno, you have received how many? 250. Did you install them? Why are you waiting? Oh, okay.
Councillor Jackie, then Councillor Mara.
Councillor
Your
Mara,
rest of your questions.
Councillor Mara does not ask questions. I'm just worried, and I think the focus should be on those houses that we already handed over, because they are now building up another debt. So can we, as soon as tomorrow, start with the alienation houses that we already handed out, so that we can kind of recover? But I'm not meaning physically. That is one of the comments that I would like to make. Then the second comment, while we are at this time that was yielded to me by my counselor that I worked with so closely. I wanted to know, there is a complaint that I received, and the Deputy Minister wanted to know also. It was directed to her, and I said I'll ask it today. And I've asked it in the previous. In Block H Extension 1, there is a house that wanted to connect to the sewerage system so that they can now take showers and whatever. But they were apparently told by our office that the water pipes are not fine or small or not used, and that will cause some smell, because they will be the only one house that is connected to the water line. So I would like to know, is it factual? If it is not the case, or if it is the case, did we get the right water pipes then? And can the people now connect to the sewage system? That is the first question. And then the electricity connection also. People in Block H has the money, some of them, but they cannot connect to the... And I remember last year we, in this council, took a resolution to instruct the finance manager to remit funds so that we can have a kiosk in Block H. That was an instruction from this council through a resolution. Where are we with electrifying Block H? That is the question that I would like to be answered. Ensure there is only a few houses that are connected in the front part of Block H. Even in the whole front yard, front line, there is only a section where there is a house that looks like my party's colors. And that one that is going to the site is not connected to the sewerage, but these ones are connected, the first two streets. So I would like to know, on behalf of the people of Block H, when will we electrify it? How is the electrification being? Because people are now acquiring solar panel systems that cost 14,000, while the connection of electricity is 12,000 or something. Because we can't, or they can't connect. Is it? I'm not technical, so I think, is it true, or is it happening?
Mr. Rudolph.
Yeah. Okay, maybe the first one, Councillor, I'm not sure how factual is it, because the school that is there is connected to the pump station, to the sewer line, which means anyone that who is having access, because I'm aware that there are airvents that doesn't have access to sewer in Block H, especially even Extension 1. We are aware that the bottom part did not have. But if the person that brought the complaint is within an area where we have sewer network, and he was informed he cannot connect, maybe that should then be brought to my office. Because we only did not use that pump station when the school was not there, because we said it would be costly to connect 1 or 2 people to use a pump station. But when the school came there, that pump station is operational, so it means if you have access to sewer, you can connect, because there's a pump station of sewer in Block H that pushes those to the pond. So maybe you just need to bring me more information on that, then I can follow up. The issue of electricity, you remember that we advertised at some point, Roy Dana area and Block H. But then we pulled it out because of resources. There was no sufficient fund. Actually, the tender closed, and when we evaluated, we realized most of the amount is more than what we had, so we had to cancel the tender. The idea was to come and redo and revise it, like reduce the scope and see maybe just electrify some areas and leave areas, but I think it's just because of resources that we have. But if you look at our capital project list, that still remains on the list. So that's the electrification of Royden area as well as, now because we also at some point we understood, is it Rehoboth East Constituency Office that also was planning to help people with electrification in that area. So we thought maybe that project will also come to see how we can help each other, because it falls also under that jurisdiction. But yes, it is still on the list. If resources is available, we'll definitely do it. The tender document is it was already done. It's actually an issue just revising it and redoing it. And the sewer in Block H Extension 1, that is something that we are going to do now, because it's just a matter of connecting those 2 streets. Yes, but for Extension 2 is another cost. We have costed all these things. The good part is that we have all the designs. We have costed these things. We are sitting with, actually, when we talk about infrastructure gap of Rehoboth, we sit with the data now. Wherever there is no water or sewer, what we have costed this thing, we have done the designs. It's just the issue of resources. Yeah.
Worship,
Thank you, Mr.
can I have a follow-up?
Yes, you may.
Also, it needs to be clear to our residents as well, Mr. Rudolph and councillors. Rehoboth Town Council has always planned in advance in terms of where they do want the town to develop into. And I know it is unfortunate that while we develop and emphasize, envision some areas for certain type of housing and plans, that most of our informal settlements are mushrooming on those sites that we have already planned for something else. And then it happens, and the minister was very clear when she was addressing the residents, that it forced the council now to play catch up, because now the council had an idea of this area. In the next 3 years, we are going to bring basic services to this area, while we are giving attention currently to a certain area. And then people will just go and start building on, encroach on that areas, and then the demand is that bring the services while it was not planned for. So the council now need to look at the resources from elsewhere to see where to get and electrify and give the basic. And the minister then therefore advised that we should stop availing unserviced land to people, because if we provide service land to people, it means that we are going to suffer. So, and the people, and it's not a thing that only the council can do. While we are saying that let us give us a chance to service the land, we will also want the residents to understand that they need to be patient at the area where we did not plan to extend. So that is the area, that is the problem. But we can maybe also in the next financial year, or I don't know, look at funds to just bring and prioritize just to bring that kiosk as you are saying, on a smaller scale, so that at least those houses can be electrified. Some people have been living on the site, the Dana, for more than 10 years, and they don't have any electricity. Also, the sector is also there. On that site, they were also complaining for the services. But it all comes down to money. Although Rehoboth is the biggest town in population south of Windhoek, Mariental is the capital city of the region. So the resources automatically go more to the capital city than it comes to the town where there is more residents. Just a remark.
Thank you, Councillor Jackie. Then we can continue with point 9. I believe there's nothing else. Sorry, before we continue, the last point, Councillor Jackie, on your point 9 regarding when you mentioned about the Erwin, it came to me on the house, the captain's house, on the debt discussion. Sorry.
When we were propelling the issue of the traditional authority of the Rehoboth pastors, we were looking in totality how we can expedite the recognition of the traditional authority as a whole, not particularly as an individual, but as a whole traditional authority. And then we were struggling with writing of the dates of that house. So therefore, while I'm on that, I would like to know from the CEO, what is the progress of writing of the dates of the pastor traditional house, and also in the same vein, we as the council has a responsibility to make sure that that house can be renovated, because we are given the house, but we need to remind the government that the renovations must start. The vice president at that ceremony promised that the renovations will be handled by Rehoboth people, businessmen. So the council maybe needs to remind the government, especially the office of the vice president, on the renovations. And also I want to know the writing off of the debt for that house.
Thank you, Councillor Jackie. So it's just the process for it to be started, the process of the debt, either if it must be ring-fenced or what the processes are of, or the writing off of these steps for the clearance to be done for the Basta people. So it's just a process that we just have to follow up and start. Is what the VP asked. Okay, then we move on. Is it Ron?
I'm sorry, it will only, through the mayor, it will only be ring fence so that we can get a clearance certificate. So later on we decided, or will they still pay, will they still be responsible for the debt? No, not Rio Spa, the captain's house. I think also the captain's house.
On the resolution that we made, or this council made, there is a written off of the debt. That's why it was asked, what is the process going to be? And I know because the VP also asked me regarding it, because I was seated next to her. And for me, it was the fact that there is, because even Councillor Jackie mentioned it when we had a discussion that day, there was a discussion that took place in the chambers. And he was very clear on to say what is the 600,000 or something like that, what is that amount? Why are we complaining about that amount while we had also the alienation written off that, which was much more than that? So yeah, so based on that, they just want to know the process and to follow up on the process. So all that this year is for the administration just to follow up, because we are going on elections, and then the new council that will come in will go on to recess, and there's no process yet that was started. So all that we are saying on regarding on the resolution that we are making, that we made for the process to start now, because it was already after the vice president was here to give back the house to the St. Cobus committee, for them, for us now to start our processes, resolutions that we made. It's just a follow-up. CEO, it's just for the follow-up on this resolution that is already standing there. So just look into that resolution, and please then give proper feedback to the relevant parties. Thank you. CEO?
Thank you, Worship. Yes, the writing off of debt can only be done through ministerial approval. And then even the writing of debt, the council must make a resolution on that, which the council did on the captain's house and also on the Rio Spa. But that, in the meantime, council also decided that those debt can be ring fenced in order, such as the Rio Spa, in order to speed up the process of transfers. So it's still upon the council to decide whether to ring fence the debt of the captain's house, while the St. Cobus committee and the internal committees that are going to repair the house is working on the modalities. Because the Excellency, the Vice President, was very clear when she mentioned that we have to look and we have to treat the tenants of those houses accordingly as human beings. And we should not be rushed into things that can be of a discomfort to anybody. But that is one of the issues where the council can make a decision saying that, although there is a debt, whether from the tenants or from the Ministry of Works, we can still ring fence it until we come to an amicable solution to the matter. Writing off can still be conducted through the normal processes of getting ministerial approval, and not only by council resolution at all, Your Worship.
Thank you, CEO. Councillor Jackie?
Thank you, His Worship. The problem that I have with this postponement of these things are, we don't know when the next council come in, what is the priorities of that council. So we need to make decisions now. It is unfortunately in our last meeting. We need, because those decisions are already made, it should be written off, it should be ring fenced, but the implementation must be done. This meeting should instruct the technocrats to write a letter to the ministry and say write off the debts, while the same meeting should instruct the finance manager to ring fence the house debts, so that this should be a binding decision, and that when the next council came, things are in place, and then the processes can continue following. So I really urge us today to give instruction now. I propose that the instruction should be that the resident, that the house must be ring fenced immediately, and that we start with the process of seeking ministerial approval for the writing off of those debts. Also, as the Vice President has instructed, we need to also look at the alternative possibility, get at least into consultations with the people that are residing in the house, because we were instructed by the Vice President to do that as well. So we need to consult, maybe for the portfolio councillors, we need to also consult with those together with the technocrats, with those people, and look at alternatives as to what we will offer them, because that was an instruction from the Vice President. So I propose those things.
Thank you, Councillor Jackie. Any secondment? Councillor Amanda. Citron?
I just wanted to ask through the chair, does this mean that even the debt, since the current tenant who was granted access to the house by Ministry of Works, that debt should also be ring fenced, or should the tenant be held liable for the municipal services that they receive?
Mr. Councillor Jackie?
His Worship, I understood from the instruction of the vice president that they should be treated in that way. And that as soon as possible, that house should be prioritized to be fitted with these prepaid meters. So I do understand that instruction that came from the vice president to 12 want us to treat them over in a reasonable manner. So if you say, how do we calculate, when do we start calculating the use? So therefore, I would really suggest that we ring fence immediately, inclusive of all the expenses, and then start afresh by fitting the house with a prepaid meter, and then start the process of writing off the debt.
Thank you, Councillor Jackie. Councillor Amanda?
Thank you, Your Worship. What I also understood is the Vice President also mentioned about air for those people who's now residing there. So on a certain amount of money, not that very high price, but maybe the same price, our gazetted price, or maybe lower.
Thank you, Councillor Amanda. Mr. Tron?
Mayor, I'm still very much unclear. Are we saying that the debt of the current tenant is also being written off? Is that what we are saying? We should be clear in the resolution.
I believe, Mr. Tron, for now, to re-infence doesn't mean we are writing it off. I believe for re-infencing it for now is for the clearance to come to the to the owners. And then that when it's re-infenced, that amount, if it's two different accounts from two different occupants or residents within the house, that we can deal with that on which one must be written off and which one not. You understand? Even though the people, because they were staying there under whose authority, who gave them the authorization to go and stay there. Therefore, we have to ask the Ministry of Works, are you willing to write off these people's debts while they were staying there, or must they pay themselves? And then we take theirs, and then these people must then, wherever, even if we give them a ERF, even if we provide or donate them an ERF, this debt will still, can this debt not be transferred debtor? Say again? Not donate, it was, I'm just making an example, Mr. Tron, to ask if the Ministry of Works are saying they are not willing to cover that expense through the request of the ring-fence. If the minister say they are writing off everything, no problem. But for now, the process of ring-fencing and sorting out the debt on a later stage, that is what the request, the proposal is now. If I'm correct on that one. That's how I understand it. To ring-fence it first, for the process of the VP to go forth, and for the people to receive the house, and then the debt itself can be discussed at a later on stage for what is paying who and who will pay what on that matter. Councillor Jackie.
His Worship, I maybe am not that clear enough. I understood the Vice President to say the reason why those people were in the house was double-folded. One was to look after the house. The other one was by the ministry, because Ministry of Work offered. But now, if we don't write off the debt of that person, we are prolonging the process. What I'm saying is the mortalities will be handled by the technocrats. But what this meeting should instruct the technocrats is that house must be immediately ring-fenced. And from now on, a meter must be fitted so that we look at the expenses of the people that are residing there. I don't know if the technocrats will be able to calculate when those people came into that house. Where did the account stand and where did it start? So if you don't, and by the instruction I understood, because you must understand it is not just another house. It is not just another transaction. We should see in that the way in which the Vice President pleaded with the council. So the council is obligated to use the incentive method that we have implemented in our land conference to assess those people as quick as possible. We need to make sure that those people move quick as possible to their own place, and we need to provide that and let them pay on a lower rate if they have to pay. But there is an instruction that came, and we agreed with it. Because if we are, the more that they are staying there, the more debt is accumulating in them. So I don't understand. Let's deal with the mortalities later. But the instruction is that ring fence now, regardless, and let us start with the process of ministerial approval for the house to be, the debt to be written off.
Thank you, Councillor Cheki. I just wanted to say, I don't really want to go now into the governance area because we are touching a direct order from the VP to him, whereby he has to spearhead this process. So now we are dealing now with his area, and I don't really want to because I'm still waiting for him so that we can address these people and first have a discussion with these people, and then they will address, then council will get the director from the governor's office because the governor is getting his orders then from the VP and from the president's side. So let us follow the procedures accordingly when it comes and when it arises. But for now, that was the proposal, and the secondment was just on the ring fencing. All the other aspects of the amounts and the differences we will still work out, and then the new council can still see the administration will still give advice on how the process was started. Luckily, Councillor Cheki will be here, and on the processes on what will transpire. Continuing then with number 10. It's already 4 o'clock, and we are still not. We didn't even start with the rest of the
Number
action.
10, report of the management committee referred to in section 26(1)(e) of the Act, none. Recommendations of the management committee, number 11. 11.1, office of the chief executive officer. 11.1.1, donation of land for community development projects at Barnhof Sports Field and Community Garden. 11.1.1. The purpose of the submission is to seek council approval for the allocation and use of 2 land portions situated at Barnhof, Rehoboth, by the Rehoboth Urban East Constituency Office for community development purposes, namely 1, a sport field approximately 3 hectares, and number 2, a community garden on R303 Rehoboth Station Extension 1, POS. So, Management Committee recommended that Council approves the allocation of R303 Rehoboth Station Extension 1, POS, for use as a community garden under the coordination of the Rehoboth Urban East Constituency Office, with ownership retained by the Rehoboth Town Council. Number 2, Council approved the allocation portion X, measuring approximately 3 hectares off from remainder of Rehoboth Town and Town Lands number 302 within Barnhof for the sports field development, with ownership similarly retained by the council. The Hardap Regional Council will be allowed to develop the necessary infrastructure under its funded community development programs. Number 4, the Rehoboth Town Council will not bond any financial obligation in regard to the development. Number 5, a partnership management framework be established between the Rehoboth Town Council, the Rehoboth Urban East Constituency Office, and the Barnhof community to oversee ongoing operation and maintenance of the facilities. Refer to OCN. Proposed? Thank you. seconded by Councillor Amanda, proposed by Councillor Jackie. Okay, can we go on in the absence of the mayor? 11.1.2. This is the handout that we received. 11.1.2. Yeah, the extra one that we received. This is request for approval to lease 15 hectares of land in Camp D. Mr. Joseph D. Loxton to establish a abattoir. Now, maybe, can I just read the overview? Yeah. 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 Because where he wanted to, that people don't want to move, so we will be. I said, let Mr. Vanswai explain, the people where we initially allocate the land, those people don't want to move, so where he is now, we will use that. This side, not the other side.
Okay, now that the owners of the Melkery land decided, and I'm saying owners, not tenants, Mr. CEO, I would like to know whether the building of the old Melkery is still in use by one of the tenants, the inside, because the councillors went there and we informed him to get out of this building, old building, where he established a 3-bedroom maybe.
Councillor Mara is still there, but the CEO can explain more, but he's staying there.
But is it now maybe time that your people could go out tomorrow, Mr. CEO? Because we need the building. Is it one of the reasons why Mr. Loxton cannot use the area?
Thank you, MC Chair. The building, yes, an eviction letter was dispatched to those people that are staying there. And yes, we will follow up on the matter to see if they left the building or not. That will we do that immediately as requested by the councillor. The other point is this issue of the water situation there. There was actually an objection by tenants from Camp 9 and Camp 10. And Mr. Loxton also decided that because it seems that the water also is not conducive, which is there, and also at the place where he currently is. The only thing that happened while we had to bring this submission as an additional is that the management committee instructed us to go and look in terms of the distance from the current oxidation ponds and the area where he is busy. In order for an abattoir to be erected or to be constructed, you need to look at the environmental impact that might have. The technical team went and they see that they will not have an impact on the building of the abattoir because the distance is quite significant from the two areas. What they also advise for recommendation is that instead of 15 hectares, the council can probably only decide on 5 hectares, if you can see on point 3 of the submission. That is the one. And then the other one is Mr. Loxton also requested whether he can rather be connected to the current water connection line at the new cemetery with a meter in order for him rather to pay water to us instead of having to use the water that they have currently obtained, because the testing of the water is still pending and they are not sure whether it will still be conducive for human consumption. Just to be on the safe side, he wanted rather to be connected to a metered line, which is a connection next to the new cemetery, and to pay for it. That is the only significant changes that was done on the submission. But in actual preliminary, in actual fact, the management committee did not see any other problem with the area as it's supposed to be. Thank you.
Thank you, CEO. Ladies, we said 15 years. Ek sal nou. 15. Can you change that?
Yes, it depends from the council, whether it's 15 or 5 years. One thing that we have to remember, Honorable Chair, is that when you construct something like an abattoir,
Mm.
the comparison between a rental lease agreement for grazing and an abattoir is something different. Rental normally in townlands is 5 years. But this thing requires that you need to build an abattoir and to start with production from, maybe only production of profit making from the 10th year only. So it's probably on that basis that it was requested that more than 5 years. I don't know.
Yeah, is it up to the council? Management committee recommended, number 1, that Mr. Joseph D. Loxon be granted a lease of 5 hectares in Camp D for 25 years at gazetted rates with a 6 months grace period to allow for development and operational establishment. Number 2, the land in question be used primarily for the abattoir and ancillary activities. Number 3, the lease amount shall be 512 Namibian dollar, 50 cents times 5 hectares, which amounts to 2,562 Namibian dollar, 50 cents per month, subject to future adjustment based on the gazetted rates. That the applicant connect to the municipal water line in Block 8, Extension 2, abutting the new cemetery at its own cost and under the technical supervision and specifications of the Council's Department of Infrastructure, Town Planning and Technical Services. That the applicant carries out the subdivision and rezoning to agriculture or business in accordance with the Urban and Regional Planning Act, Act 2018, Act number 5 of 2018, and its regulations. That the applicant be subjected to an environmental impact assessment in accordance with the Environmental Management Act, Act 2007, Act number 7 of 2007 and its regulations at their own cost. Number 7, that the applicant carries out the environmental impact assessment in consultation with the Health and Environmental Management Division and shares the environmental impact assessment report and environmental management plan before submission to the Environmental Commissioner. The rent will be subject to the advertisement for objection and ministerial approval area before commencing with development. Should the applicant fail to develop the land within a time frame of 6 months, they will forfeit all allocation rights. On expiration of the contract, the applicant should remove all movable properties and restore the land to its natural state. Refer to council. Proposed by Councillor Chetty. Okay.
That the applicant fence off the area before commencing with the development. I do understand that we need to fence off such a initiative. But is it common practice, Mr. CEO? These type, is it plots or townlands or what is it? Is it townlands? So do we normally fence off townlands? No, I mean for them or for, no, not from our side. Can they, the beneficiary, should they fence off?
Yeah, it's a requirement that when you start, it's actually in our business, within the townlands, it has to be subdivided, and And then once you have starting with the subdivision of it, you need to fence it off because it doesn't fall under the pretext of town lands anymore. It now falls under town planning and housing. So it means the town planner will have to come in there and work with the preliminary diagrams and then also to the owner in order for the long lease now. It's now a particular lease not related to town lands anymore. It's now part of a development area like agricultural plots and so on. That the person now lease the area for a specific profit-making venture. And it's not related to any tenants that is now on town lands and for grazing purposes only. This is now pure business development.
Can I just explain? Council Mara, it's where Gino was, that side. It's actually not in town lands. It's more,
It is townlands, but it's,
yeah.
it's
because
part
it's
of townlands, but there's no
but it's-
tenants.
There's no tenants there.
There's no camps also there.
No camps, nothing.
Behind the cemetery, between the cemetery and oxidation ponds. So there was no camps apart. Yeah, it's just an open space, open field. But just a question: is this is only for leasing? So it's not lease with the option to buy. So it's not a lease with the option to buy. I'm just asking. Okay. The years? 25 years. Okay. Councillor Jackie proposed. The proposement. Is there any second one? Councillor Mara.
Just thinking about this, number 3, the lease amount shall be 512 times 5 hectares for something that this whole community need. It's must up to a class C. Is it really, really so that we can only provide him with 5 hectares and not 8 or 10?
The area is
It's
not
not too
needed.
small.
No, the area for that is not too small. It's a bit bigger. The 5 hectares is more than enough actually. We made even a hectare and a half bigger, just in case. Yeah, on his request, just in case there is certain like what do you call it, for parking areas and shadings and all those type of things, and for it to be improved future if he needs to expand the area. So the 5 hectares is more than enough. So it's quite enough. Proposed by Councillor Jackie, seconded by Councillor Mara. Okay, can we just make the correction of Camp E? Or just put the between brackets which camp, just to make clarification which camp it actually is. Okay. Apparently Camp E, but just make 100% sure it is Camp E. Now I'm just saying. Okay, so this side is Camp E. Okay, then it's Camp E.
Thank you, Your Worship. 11 point, now 11.2. 11.2 is the Finance Department. 11.2.1 is the Finance Monthly Report. So this is now where questions can come in from. Councillor Mara?
Can quickly call Mr. Tron? Councillor Mara, you may.
Okay, thank you very much.
If you want to speak in the absence of the finance, you may continue speaking.
I am supposed to do that.
Okay.
You will understand why. But he can come in. He can even listen to me over his phone. This council, Mr. Zainatron, we are now at 11.2.1. Now, just a second. I have to put something here. Fees. So, thank you. I'm extremely sorry. Mr. Zaino, you need to bear with me with my question, but I need to ask this question. And I do have nothing against you, but I need to ask this question because I think my question is very to the point, transparent, etc. I have no questions on your financial report or your, is it a quarter report? Yes, but my question is to the rest of the councillors in attendance. This council made a decision on you, the finance manager. And this finance report was compiled by you. Now I'm extremely puzzled that you provided a quarter report. My question is to the MC chair. Did the decision that was made by this council vanish in thin air somewhere? So you need to bring me to reality. Mr. CEO, in his absence, can you also enlighten me, because after the last OCM, where a decision was made and there was no special meeting after that I know of, because there's not even minutes here. I cannot see any minutes, so that's why I'm puzzled. How do I discuss a financial report with the rest of the councillors that is coming from you, which according to me, you were suspended? And I don't know whether you know that
Councillor
you are
Mara,
suspended. No,
sorry,
no, no.
sorry, no,
No,
no.
he
No,
was
Councillor Mara,
suspended.
order.
You will not bring me to
Councillor
order.
Mara, order.
He was suspended.
There is
Why
a rule
should
against
I?
the code of conduct in the
Why
house and a
should I
standing rule saying
discuss
this is not
this?
discussed. Sorry, Mr. Jaffet,
You are
please
not going to
mute
put
it.
that thing off.
Jaffet, please
You
mute.
will not
Otherwise,
do
I will
that.
adjourn the meeting.
We can adjourn.
Yes,
Why
because
did
Councillor
you
Mara,
suspend him?
no.
Why
We
was
didn't
he
suspend
suspended
him.
and now you want me
We
to
didn't
discuss?
suspend him, Councillor Mara. Did with this, until further notice, we will take a break to discuss this matter within, because it's unacceptable what just transpired here. Unacceptable. Dear community, it was unacceptable. We do not discuss suspensions or salary structures or salaries of staff in a live streaming process. Councillor Mara, I think that you have to apologize for that question and honestly do it, because
I
it
will
was
not
inappropriate.
withdraw.
You will not withdraw. Thank you. Councillors, MC Chair, please, as management, take this matter up and let us discuss it when we take our break. Thank you. We will have a break now, for now, and then we will convene soon. Thank you, dear residents. We will just adjourn the meeting till further notice, then we will resume. Sorry for any inconvenience. We adjourn the meeting. Thank you. Enjoy your day.